Hello viewers, welcome back to Node.js microservices from Zero to Cloud series. In the previous episode, we developed a complete backend CRUD microservice using Node.js and Express. We used in-memory data handling and persistence through JSON database. And today we are going to take our microservices journey one step further by connecting our Node.js service to a real database, that is MongoDB. Whereas we will start from absolute zero, so even if MongoDB is completely new to you, you are in the right place. We will perform complete installation of MongoDB on Windows and will learn how to use MongoDB Compass. Then we will connect Node.js microservice to MongoDB. We will create a Mongoose model. We'll update our route to use MongoDB and we'll test our microservice on Thunder Client. At the end of this tutorial, you will have a fully functional Node.js microservice connected to MongoDB with a complete database persistence, and you will understand exactly how the entire flow works from installation to API testing. So viewers, let's start the journey. Viewers, we will start with the creation of separate package for this user microservice. I am separating its package with the name users mongo, a bit different from previous package that was users. Now inside the terminal, I will navigate to its folder and will initialize node project separately for this service through npm init-y command. It will create package file for the project. Now I will install Mongoose, the MongoDB plugin for connectivity of our node project with MongoDB. Its desired dependencies would be downloaded inside node_module folder. If the project faces express packages not found error, then also copy express packages from previous user service and paste inside users mongo node module. Now inside user mongo package, create source folder, and inside source folder create another folder config. This folder will carry dedicated db.js configuration file responsible for connecting our microservice to MongoDB using Mongoose. Viewers, we will start by importing Mongoose, which is the ODM library that helps us to interact with MongoDB using schemas and models. This single library allows us to write structured, predictable database code. Now we create a synchronous function named connectDB. Since database operations are asynchronous, this function allows us to wait until the MongoDB connection is fully established. We wrap the entire connection process inside a try-catch block because connecting to a database can fail for many reasons, and we want to handle those errors gracefully. Next, we use mongoose.connect along with the MongoDB URL. This is the heart of the file. Here, localhost means MongoDB is running on own computer. 27017 is the MongoDB's default port, and user_service is the database name Mongoose will automatically create or use. The new parser enabled by setting use new URL parser true fixes bugs, improved parsing of special characters, and supported SRV URLs. Next, use unified topology true activates the new MongoDB drivers engine that improves server discovery, monitoring, replica set handling, and failover logic. Next, we log the MongoDB connected message. Then we enter the catch block, and here I log an informative error message along with the actual error description. This makes debugging easier by showing the root cause of the failure. Then I would forcibly stop the application using process exit in case of error, because continuing to run the microservice without connected database would cause more errors. This is common pattern in backend apps. Finally, I would export the connectdb function so it can be used in our main app.js file. Now viewers, I will create other necessary packages for our microservice like controllers and routes. Then I will create app.js file inside source folder. App.js file is entry point where our entire microservice is assembled, configured and started. It acts as the main program that Node.js executes to run your service. I will copy the basic code from previous app.js file of our user service and will paste it here. Inside the file, I would shift the user routes object upward in the code for clarity. Moreover, in this file, only two major changes would be made. First, I will import the connectdb, which is database connection function. I will import it from the config/db.js. Next, I will call connectdb function to establish the MongoDB connection. If MongoDB starts successfully, we will see MongoDB connected message, and if it fails, server will exit with an error. And that's it. Rest or things in app.js file are not need to be changed. Now viewers, inside source package, it's time to create model package. Further inside model, create user.js file as a user model. This file defines the structure, rules and behavior of user data inside MongoDB. Moreover, this model acts as a bridge between MongoDB and Node.js application. So viewers, file begins by importing Mongoose, a powerful ODM library. Next, create user schema. A schema is like a blueprint or contract that describes the shape and rules of your data. Here, the user schema defines name as string. Required true means it must exist and we may not skip this field. Similarly, email as string and required true. Now convert the schema into a model called user. A model provides create, find, update and delete user capabilities. It becomes the direct tool used in your routes and controllers to interact with the MongoDB collection. In any Node.js backend, especially in microservices, routes act as the entry point for your service. They define how the outside world communicates with your microservice. Whenever a client wants to get data, send data, update or delete, it always communicates through routes. In our application, previously, the user microservice, all our routes were using file-based JSON storage. But now, since we have integrated MongoDB and Mongoose, we need to transform the routes so that they interact with the real database instead of JSON file. These updated routes will now query MongoDB using Mongoose, return real-time database records, save data persistently, handle async operations, give us real CRUD functionality. This makes our microservice production friendly, scalable and far more reliable than before. Viewers, first of all, I will copy the existing routes from previous user service. Then we'll create file, user routes and will paste routes here. Then I will change get, post, put and delete routes as per new requirements. Now viewers, instead of using file-based read-write functions, I will import the Mongoose user model. This model lets us read, save, update and delete user directly into MongoDB. As this model is inside source folder, so I will modify the path starting from source/model/user. Next, our route handler would be of async nature because MongoDB operations return a promise. A promise in JavaScript is an object that represents a value that will be available in future. When we fetch users from database, it doesn't happen instantly. So JavaScript says, I promise I will give you data later. That later result is a promise. This does not block the program. It returns the promise immediately and results becomes available later. Async and await are modern JavaScript keywords that make working with promises much easier. Viewers, here by writing async before function, we are telling Node.js that this function will perform a synchronous operation that may be accessing a database or reading or writing files or calling external APIs. Next viewers, instead of reading from the JSON file, we will fetch all users from MongoDB using .find method. MongoDB queries with Mongoose and returns promises. So you need await to pause execution until database finishes the query. Without async, you cannot use await. After that, we will send this response to client as a list of users. Viewers, next we will implement the route as getUserById. We will use router.get and /:id along with the use async for database operation. Instead of manually searching in the array, we query MongoDB with user ID. Next, we will return 404 response if user not found from the database. Next, we will return the found user in JSON response. Next, we will start update user route with async db update. We will use find by id and update function to update the records in MongoDB. We will update the user based on the ID received from the client side and we will keep new as true because by default MongoDB returns the old document. With new true, it returns the updated document. Next, return 404 status with no user found message in response to client in case no user is found for that ID. Next, return the JSON response with the message user updated and the user object. Viewers, last one is the delete user route, which is the simplest one. Just remove the existing logic from the route and apply the async capabilities in the function. Then just use user.findById and delete with desired ID as input, and it will directly delete the user from the MongoDB. If no user exists with that ID, just return a 404 error with a friendly message. And at the end, return user deleted response to the client. Viewers, now our code implementation is almost complete. If any adjustment would be required, we will do them during the testing. But viewers, before testing it, it's time to install MongoDB on our local machine and run its services. So in this section, we will cover the complete installation of MongoDB, but not in the default location. Instead, we will show you how to install MongoDB in custom drive, for example G drive, and we will learn how to manually set up database and log folders along with adding the MongoDB service if Windows does not add it automatically. Viewers, first open your browser and search for MongoDB community server download. Go to the official MongoDB website and download the MSI installer for Windows. This is the recommended installer because it helps us to set up MongoDB easily through a guided interface. Once the MSI file finishes, double-click to start the installation process. MongoDB will show you the welcome screen. Click Next. Choose the complete setup option. Now instead of installing in default path, we'll change the installation path directory from C to G drive. Click on change and select your desired drive. Continue the installer and complete the installation. Before starting MongoDB for the first time, MongoDB requires two folders. The DB folder, where all MongoDB data will be stored, and the log folder, where MongoDB writes its logs including startup and shutdown details. Even if you install MongoDB on G drive, we can create these folders anywhere. By default, MongoDB expects them under C drive. So we will create them. Open C drive, create a new folder named data. Inside the data folder, create another folder named DB. Then create another folder named log. Viewers, most of the time MongoDB automatically installs itself as Windows service. But if you do not see MongoDB in the services list, then we can add it manually. To add MongoDB as a Windows service, run the command prompt as an administrator and type the following command. You will see a message saying service created successfully. Now open the Windows search bar, type services and press enter. And you will see that the Mongo service is running in the services. Viewers, after the installation of MongoDB, now start the node server through terminal. And you can see that there is a DB connection error as use new URL parser and use unified topology are not supported. So as we discussed previously, comment these both parameters from the configuration file. After that, MongoDB will connect successfully with Node microservice. Now viewers, this is the time to test the running microservice through Thunder Client API testing tool. Open it and create new request. And try it for get all users by putting endpoint URL and get command. But viewers, you can see that there is no user loaded. And if we go in the terminal console, there is an error as cast to object ID failed for value 1. Now if we look into the code of get all users out, we can see that there is a little code issue as user.find is a function, but we mistakenly put it as inside the await. You correct it and then run the server again. And you will see that the all users loaded in the Thunder Client output response panel. Next we will test create new user route. I will select post command and then set new user values in the body tab. But mistakenly I set underscore ID with the value 3, which is wrong, as underscore ID is for auto generated ID by MongoDB. So I will make it simple ID and will send the request. And viewers, you can see that the user is created and you may confirm it from the MongoDB Compass editor. Next we will test the update user route. First get the user details which we want to update. Set the command as put for updation. Now copy its auto generated ID and fit it in the last of endpoint URL and send the command. The user updated message generated, but you can see that its ID has not been changed to 1. So here we will go to the code of this route and change the response code from message to actual user in the last part of the route. But viewers, again if we want to change the ID, there is still a validation error. The thing is, we may not change the ID in this way. So if we want to change the name or email only, we have to skip ID from the body request. In that case, it will save the details. You can test it at your own. But if you want to change users from your own provided user ID only, in that case you have to set ID specifically into your user schema object as a number. There would be a few changes in route also, like change in raw ID value from request object to id colon request.param.id, a Mongo query filter object. This object tells Mongoose search in the database for the user whose ID field is equal to 15. So in the code also replace find by ID and update with the function find1 and update. This method searches for one document in the MongoDB based on ID, update it with request body and returns the updated document and record. Viewers also include run validators true next to new colon true, as run validators true makes Mongoose apply schema validations during update like string or numeric values. Now if we again start the server and test the code, you will see that it would accept ID inside the body and will also update data inside the MongoDB based on ID. But viewers, you can see it is keeping both IDs in the MongoDB. And viewers, in the last we test delete route based on both auto-generated ID and user-defined ID. Open the request and set the request type as delete. Now set URL with the user-defined ID 3 and send the request. It will give an error. Again set the auto-generated ID and send the request and it will delete the user successfully. Now viewers, if you want to delete the user based on your own user-defined ID, you have to use same strategy as in the update user. So inside the route, change the function from find by ID and delete to find1 and delete. Also change the raw ID value from request object to id colon request.params.id, a MongoDB query filter object. Now again restart the server, find the user first, then use the delete route to delete it with the ID 1 and you will see that the user is deleted. Viewers, as we wrap up this video, we have now seen how easily we can integrate MongoDB into our Node.js microservice and how easily we shifted from simple in-memory or JSON based storage to a fully scalable database layer. So viewers, today we installed MongoDB, connected it through Mongoose, created our user model and transformed our existing routes into clean async database powered endpoints, all following real microservices architecture. At this point, your service can reliably store, retrieve, update and delete data using your own custom IDs and understand how async and await and ODM methods streamline the entire workflow. If you have followed along, congratulations, you have successfully taken your microservice to the next professional level. In the upcoming videos, we will continue building this system further, exploring powerful techniques like ORMs, raw databases, authentication mechanisms and many more. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and keep building amazing things.